Mr. X's testimony is extremely important, particularly for the police's case, because his testimony is going to corroborate the police's version that they shot at the striking Marikana workers in self-defense. Now, you will remember all along that the police have been criticized for shooting dead 34 miners. All along, it's been perceived that the police shot at the miners in an unprovoked attack. But Mr. X's testimony is set to blow the lid on that version of events, and he is going to detail exactly how it is that the miners smeared themselves with muti, believing that they were invincible, and were working towards being violent and aggressive towards the police to ensure that they provoke the police enough that the police will shoot back at the striking Marikana miners. So his testimony is going to be extremely crucial for the police's testimony.
Right, and Ntombi, and proceedings finally got underway this morning after a slight delay. Just take us through some of his testimony.
Yes, proceedings did get underway at least towards mid-morning. We do know that there were a lot of technical glitches that led to the proceedings becoming a bit delayed. But once the proceedings got underway and the preliminary objections were dealt with, we did go through Mr. X's testimony. It was, however, brief before people broke for lunch, but he did make a few concessions, and these concessions were very important. He conceded that he was part of the Marikana miners who were striking, and that yes, they did plan on committing murder. They did plan on having several people that were trying to murder. He did concede as well that they were trying to burn down a few of the Lonmin buildings up until their demands were met. You will remember that the Lonmin miners were striking for a 12,500 increase, and as to now, they still have not received that 12,500 rand increase that they were looking for. But as proceedings continue, they have broke for lunch, but it's just been a few 5 minutes worth of Mr. X's testimony. It will continue at 2 o'clock after the lunch break.
Right, and what's been the reaction so far?
Natasha, what happened this morning when Mr. X's picture was shown on screen, you heard several gasps from the gallery, from the family members that are in attendance. Emotions are very high, they are very heightened. People are extremely angry with Mr. X because a lot of people perceive his testimony as a betrayal to the Marikana miners, those who had died at the hands of the police, and those who are still continuing to fight for the 12,500 rand increase that they're looking for. Now, just to give us a quick update on the reaction, I have with me here a spokesperson from the NUM. He's just going to tell me exactly how it is that the NUM is perceiving these particular proceedings. Good day, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Can you tell me, you are from the NUM, what is your sentiment and your thought around this particular proceedings?
Up to so far, we are unable to comment as we are still waiting for our lawyers to give us directions. So we are not going to give you anything up to so far. We'll wait till we speak to our lawyers.
And what do you think what are you expecting from Mr. X's testimony? His testimony is set to be extremely explosive.
Like I said earlier on, ma'am, we are going to wait for our lawyers to give us more information on what is going on inside. You took me while I was still listening, so I'm unable to give you more information, but as soon as we speak to our lawyers, we'll come back to you.
Thank you very much. That was a representative from the NUM giving us their brief thoughts around the issue of Mr. X's testimony. They are going to be waiting for their lawyers to give them feedback before they make any comment in a public forum to the media about their feedback and their sentiment on Mr. X's testimony. You will remember that several NUM members were either killed or injured in the week between the 10th and the 13th of August. So it will be a very important time for the NUM right now to listen to Mr. X's testimony and hear in exact detail what happened, what led up to the deaths of several of their members and 34 miners in a subsequent shootout between the miners and the police.
Right, Ntombi, thank you very much. That was our reporter, Ntombi coming live from the Farlam Commission in Centurion. Well, the